Yeah, I have some announcements to make here. Well, at least one big one here. I'm gonna give it a few minutes, let those notifications go out because not only did I catch what they were trying to do, but they were trying to renew my subscription like almost 3 months too early so they could charge me another few $100s. We're not playing that game. It's just no. And I realized that God works in mysterious ways, and but it's all for a reason. Okay, and I know we are up about 7-8 minutes early for our Truth Seeker podcast. So like I said, I want to give everybody a few minutes here to come on in, and I will get the formalities out of the way here shortly, because we're going to talk about spiritual discernment. Okay, we're going to talk about spiritual discernment because it's very, very important. Very important to understand the reason why God needs us to have spiritual discernment. Because telling the difference between truth and lies is a big one. Very important to understand the... There you go. All right, so I'm going to leave that chat open over here on this device as I usually do. And, this had been quite the journey, but spiritual discernment, it encompasses a lot of things. Not just so that we can see what God needs us to see, but be able to pick out truth mixed with lies and know when we come across somebody who is telling truth mixed with lies, which you hear a lot of truth mixed with lies in the fake media, don't you? Yeah, truth mixed with lies is one of the devil's favorite tricks. And it could go either way. It's like they could tell the lie and back it up with the truth. That designed to make it more believable. Make the lie more believable. But then it can also have the truth first and then the lie at the end. Kind of like how narcissists, they love bomb and devour. Well, they can also do the devour first and then a love bomb. So it's like a backhanded compliment. It's the same concept. Truth mixed with lies. It can be either way. You've got to be able to tell what is what and when it's happening. This is why we must allow ourselves the space and time that we need. Not just for the trauma healing, but for the sharpening of our spiritual discernment. Because I will tell you something, when you can discern spiritually, you're going to find yourself more physically alone more often. That's why I say a lot, God needs us chosen one to be okay being physically alone more often, because it's going to happen. Spiritual discernment, we ain't going to allow ourselves to be hanging around just anybody anymore, because we can see, we can sense. See, spiritual discernment is more than just being able to see. It's about being able to sense when something is off. Okay? And so, yeah. Okay, hey, yeah, I don't celebrate that. It's just another day for me. But thank you. All right, thank you. I'm not concerned. Oh, I got a Hoover from the Jezebel case study, by the way. And plus, she's been doing quite a bit of hoovering. But yeah, sending me a picture of a young girl that I'm just going to say she babysits. Okay? From time to time. Thinking that I wasn't going to recognize the young girl. I knew exactly who it was. And I knew, I was like, oh, it's a Hoover. Of course, on my so-called birthday. Of course, because you know how narcissists are. They want to ruin birthdays. Well, you can't ruin what we don't celebrate. Anyhow. Or think that she could ruin it. Nah, see, chosen one, that's the other thing. With spiritual discernment. Okay, the truth is, spiritual discernment, yeah, we don't allow evildoers or anything to ruin our days anymore, because it's all about our thinking. Remember, our thoughts govern the majority of our lives. That's correct. So we don't allow anything or anyone to ruin it. Now, I got to make an announcement since it's been about 5 minutes in, and for those who may catch this on the replay, I got to tell y'all, and I'm going to repeat it towards the end as well, all right? Because I need y'all to understand that there are some, we are going to clean them up. So thank you for your patience. If you come across a video that was, it was a live, but it's a replay on any of the podcast areas, okay? Motivational Monday, Let's Just Chat, Saturday Bible studies. If you come across any of them and it has a StreamYard affiliate link in the description, ignore it. All right, we're going to clean those up. We are no longer using StreamYard. Nope, I know we used to, and that was one great avenue for having you all as a guest on our podcast episode, or even if you wanted to appear in video. But no, we're no longer using them. I'm just going to leave it at that. I gave a little towards the beginning, but I'm not falling for their justification for what they did and then trying to renew an annual subscription almost 3 months too early. Or, almost 3 months too early trying to renew an annual, because they jacked the price up. No, we're not playing that game. Okay? Not anything against them, but I'm not falling for their justification behind it. When we go live on YouTube, we can just go live. If I want to go live on Facebook, all I got to do is go to Facebook, the business page, and hit live. Go live on Instagram, same thing. I don't need StreamYard. I was using StreamYard for the convenience, okay? I want y'all to understand that. I don't need it. If y'all want to still appear as a guest on one of the videos or a live or a podcast episode, let me know. Send me an email. The email is listed below for quicker access. Let me do some readjusting here. I saw that move. But send me an email if you want to appear as a guest. You want to join us in one of our podcast episodes. We can use Zoom. We can use Google Meets. We can find other ways. Okay, we don't need StreamYard. All right? It was just a convenience at the time. And now it's no longer convenient. So we're not using StreamYard anymore, so let that be known. We're no longer using them. Will we ever use them again? I don't know. Maybe in the future. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, we do forgive, but I wasn't going to pay. No. I don't need them. It was just a convenience. But, I mean, it was a nice experience. We got some intros and outro, musical videos. We had a countdown clock. We had a lot of overlays and things like that. But that's not, you know what? We could work around that. Listen, we get around that. The convenience was nice and, having different backdrops and stuff. But it's not a need. Okay? It's not a need. It was just a convenience. So... okay, and then you said StreamYard. Okay. As far as I know, Google Meets is now. I don't know what's going on with my phone holder here, y'all, but bear with me there. It's doing its funky stuff. But anyhow, I think so. As of now, Google Meets is, and then there's a lot of advantages to using StreamYard or other streaming software. They're not the only ones out here. You've got DaVinci, you have some others as well. But as far as for this ministry, is it a necessity? No. Okay, it's not needed. Because as you can see, I've been going live straight on YouTube for a while now, anyhow, several weeks or more. And I haven't really been using StreamYard. Now StreamYard, right, it was great. The convenience and I think the biggest advantage for me on StreamYard was the ability to not only do, podcast with guests, but also to have an overlay for when we go live. If I want to be faceless. Now, I can get around that resistance too. So that's what I'm saying. It was not a need. It was a convenience. That's all. So, yeah, we're no longer using them at this time. So there's that. No, I'm not going to throw them under the bus. There's nothing wrong with them. They're not bad, but I'm just not falling for their justification on some things. That's all. I don't believe it. I don't believe them. It don't matter. People believe what they want to believe. But we're not going to play that game. And, yeah, especially not over something that we don't need. See, that spiritual discernment is also for being able to assess needs versus want versus conveniences, things like that. Because if it's a convenience, it's just typically a want. Because like I said before, I said if I go live on Instagram, all I got to do is go live. If I want to go live on Facebook, I just hit the live. Same thing here on YouTube. I didn't need StreamYard. Same thing on TikTok. I don't need a streaming software unless I want to go live simultaneously across all platforms. And we've kind of been not doing that a lot. And then we stopped doing the Bible studies on both Facebook and YouTube recently. So we're just bringing all live stream mainly here to YouTube for this season. And we're still going to go live on Instagram. That's why I tell y'all, if we don't go live on YouTube here, like Wednesday, Thursday, maybe even Friday, those 3 days can be toss-ups between YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Okay? So, if we're not live here on YouTube, I'll let you know in the computer, computer, blooper. I'll let you know in the community tab on this YouTube channel. That's why I highly encourage y'all to subscribe. Even if you don't care about the pre-recorded videos, you just want to attend live, hit that subscribe button. Because if I'm not live here, I might be on Instagram, and I'll let y'all know. Plus, don't forget about the My Social page, CHA Social Platforms. Okay, listed in the description below for quicker access, so you will find TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Okay, yeah, and then of course Patreon. Yes, you know it's unfortunate because I could have used StreamYard to go live on Patreon too, but I don't have to do that either. Okay, I don't have to. There's a workaround with that as well. And then Patreon, I don't know if they have yet, but they've been doing a lot of improvement. So there may be a day coming when I've got more of you over there with us. When I've got more of you with us on the Patreon channel to go live over there. So by the time that rolls around, maybe they'll allow us to go live directly from that platform, which will be really cool. So I don't have to use a workaround. Now, that being said, spiritual discernment, okay, to be able to tell the difference between needs and wants. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA Truth Seeker Podcast, streaming on the YouTube channel, Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center while combating radio frequencies for healthier living. Oh, yeah, because we can do it. Oh, yeah. And we are still, yes, you all, we are still cooling therapy. So thank you for understanding as I take a sip here and there of this ice cold beverage. We got to keep it cool. Yeah, that vagus nerve. Listen, I got more about that for y'all coming and on the Patreon channel because God's been revealing some things to me. But anyway, spiritual discernment is a big must because we realize that there's a lot of people who they'll smile at you and yeah, they'll be kind in your face, but behind your back, they talking smack. And you won't always know it right away. But with that spiritual discernment, you'll be able to tell whether or not you want to even be in their presence. Because let me share with you all something real quick. as I was walking back from the store, I decided, the Lord, listen, God is reintroducing me to some things now. So, exactly. So he said, I wanted to go and get something. I needed something, okay, to put on my feet inside the room. Keep them warm. So, as I go do that, I go and I get them. And thank you all for helping me be able to do that. All right? God is yes, I appreciate it. Because he knew I was going to need something to warm my feet. So, well, other than socks. I've got socks, but I'm talking about something to wear. I'm right. Call them house shoes, if you will. So, yeah, and I didn't have, I wanted a pair of house shoes. So I went and got them. I could walk up to the store. And so he was showing me some things on my walk. On my way back, this is all part of needing that spiritual discernment. On my way back, there was a lady on her phone. Like, I'm walking this way, she's coming this way. And her face was all scrunched up as she was talking. And her voice was this high, whiny, high, whiny voice. And the way that her face was all disordered, I said, wow. And when I say disordered, I mean it was disordered. That's the kind of spiritual discernment we're talking about here. And so we don't ignore that kind of stuff. And then that high, whiny, high-pitched, whiny, saccharine, ugh, wow. So yeah, it was like, well, that one demon possessed. Because only a demonically possessed being can do that. That's called shape-shifting. Whenever you see their faces all like disordered or like just not right. And I'm not listen, discernment, okay? Discernment. I'm not talking about, listen, you all, I am not talking about people with disabilities or true blue handicaps. You'll be able to tell. I'm talking about somebody who's walking that didn't have nothing like that going on. Okay? You can tell with that spiritual discernment. You can tell that she didn't have none of that going on. No, she didn't have no handicap, no nothing. Okay, now I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about spiritual, it's a spiritual discernment. And they don't even know that they're doing it. That's part of the crept and unawares. They don't even know they're doing it. So, we have to keep that in mind. But God revealed that to me. And I said, oh my goodness, wow. And so the more you're able to pick up on this stuff, you would know automatically, do not say anything to that person and don't even be around them. Keep walking. You know what I'm saying? It's like chosen one, as we're walking by and stuff, we typically will smile and acknowledge others. Right? Yeah, that's just who we are. But ones like that, we just ignore them. Ignore them. But then you do have those out here who, because of society teaching, who may still be a narcissist, but will be polite. So you have to be able to tell the difference. I've had several who have passed me by who I could tell were narcissists, but they were polite, so I was polite back. You know what I'm saying? I was just, they smile and say hi, I say hi. They say, how are you? Doing well, how are you? And that kind of thing. But that's it. And how can I tell they were a narcissist? The eyes. The eyes are the window to the soul. It's true. Why do you think Jesus says we need to pull the beam out of our own eye before we can even attempt to do so out of the eye of our brethren? Right? There you go. Eyes are the window to the soul. And, okay. So, yes. So, okay, well, that, you know what? Yeah. We were talking about, I know the Jezebel case study has been hoovering, so you got to tell the difference also. That spiritual discernment is needed for that as well. Yes. Okay, you've seen the shape-shifting face, so you know what I'm talking about. See what I'm saying? It takes that spiritual discernment to be able to see these things. Yep, it's a shape-shifting face. See, I saw it on the toxic coworker in the last toxic workplace that I was at. I did. It all scrunched up like I can't. We chosen ones. We can't even do it because, well, only it's a demon that does it. And it's just so wow to go from being like innocent looking like, right? That childlike glow. Yeah. Remember, y'all, that childlike glow, that childlike appearance on somebody that is a grown adult. Do not fall for that. It takes that spiritual discernment to pick that out. We're going to get to the truth mixed with lies here in a moment. But you got, yes. Don't fall for that childlike appearance. That's a trap. I have a video all about that on this channel too, where I talk about that childlike appearance. Because see, that's what he had at first, and then read something in an email, sat down, and I mean that shape-shifting face. Woo! You do not unsee those things. You cannot unsee those things. And so, okay, I would say that, okay, if you have an Apple device, that would be another way that we could do, if you want to appear as a guest on a podcast or a video or what have you. Well, probably more podcast, because we could do a FaceTime and I can record using my MP3, you know what I'm saying? So there's ways around it. There's ways to get it done. But yeah, Apple FaceTime, it's just like a phone call, but it's a visual. So yeah, as far as I know, it's not going to cost anything. It's part of your mobile plan if you've got an Apple. So, okay, so you got a Hoover from one of your older sisters on Facebook. Good job. No response necessary. There you go. There you go. Okay, and the shape-shifting face you saw on a female Jezebel. Okay. Okay, you don't have an Apple yet, but you're considering it. Well, I mean, and that's up to you. But I know that we can use, there's lots of different avenues to take for being able to get you on as a guest. Okay, whether you've got an Apple device or not. Okay, Zoom. If we could keep it at 30 minutes, we can use Zoom. As far as I know, anything over 40 minutes, that's when they want to start charging. So, and it's like, I'm not trying to go around all kinds of freebies, but I do have to pay for the website, and I pay for the Academy hosting site as well. So, I mean, and the podcast platform. So, I mean, I am not out here trying to, get everything for free, but depending on what it is, I mean, come on now, I'm not going to stretch myself so thin that I can't get myself a pair of house shoes. Come on now. But yeah. Okay, a pair of house shoes. I mean, it's something that simple. But anyway, I'm not going to do it. See, that's the thing. We learn with that spiritual discernment. We don't self-sabotage. And believe it or not, we can do a lot of self-sabotaging financially if we don't pay attention and use our spiritual discernment. But yeah, never forget that. Oh my gosh, it's like, right. Okay, well, see, there you go. That's exactly what the face shape-shifting looks like. Okay, it went from a softer female human face to a hard rock-shaped sort of thing, right? Like a strange... That's it. Okay, I know what you're talking about. When you go to, like these theme parks and stuff, I know exactly what you're talking about. Because that's exactly what the girl that was walking by me, her face shape-shifted into... I mean, it's like this big... goofy, I know what you're talking about. It's made, they carve it out in the tree, right? And they make these little, it's often used for witchcraft. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like one of those rocks, one of those things that you'll find a lot of times at parks or a theme park, and it had this weird carving of a face with this big, gigantic type smile, not necessarily a Cheshire cat grin, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know what they're called, but yeah. Thank you. But yeah, a rock sculpture face. Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about. I got it. I got the visual. And that's exactly what but while she was moving her mouth, that whiny, and she was a grown adult, so, yeah, and that spiritual discernment, excuse me, we're able to pick up this stuff. But now let's talk about truth mixed with lies. Rock face. Okay, you get the image of the rock face and email it, absolutely. Because we can talk more about that. Oh, yeah, we can talk a lot more about that because we've seen a good bit of that so far in this spiritual awakening, haven't we? Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've seen a good bit. And, when God said he's going to reveal all, I'm going to tell y'all. Yeah, he ain't lying. He ain't lying. And I'm just readjusting my shoes there. I know. They're squeakers, not sneakers. Thank you, Chris, for that one. Squeakers, not sneakers. But, yeah, you got to be able to know when you're coming across truth mixed with lies. Because I will tell you, as a truth seeker now, y'all, chosen one, as truth seekers, we cannot ignore these things because these are the red flags. Like, okay, wait a minute. So they tell you, okay, for example, you look at something, okay, they've got a plate of food, and you can clearly see that it is, let's say, tuna casserole. It's a pasta dish, tuna casserole, and you can clearly see that's what it is. And they'll tell you that they're eating tuna casserole. Now, you may or may not know the type of tuna, because there are different types. But let's say you saw the can that they were making their tuna with. Or you saw the can, right? And it said yellowfin. So you knew that it was yellowfin tuna that they used for that casserole, or that in that casserole. Somehow you knew that. But they tell you that it's albacore. I would tell you there's a big difference between albacore tuna and yellowfin. Yellowfin is a lot darker. It's like a darker meat. Albacore is whiter. So you can clearly tell the difference between that. But they'll try to tell you that's a truth mixed with lie. They'll tell you I'm eating a tuna casserole with albacore tuna. When you clearly saw the can, you can look at the tuna and it's like a dark meat tuna. You know automatically if it's a dark meat tuna, that's not albacore. Okay? It could be slipjack. It could be usually yellowfin. Okay? But you can tell. So that's just one of many examples of how they'll tell the truth and then try to put a lie in there. But see, because it is a tuna casserole, if you did not know the difference between yellowfin and albacore tuna, then that you would believe it. Because it's a tuna casserole, you just wouldn't know that that's not albacore and that it's yellowfin. But with spiritual discernment, we're able to detect. And then not only that, you got to remember something else. With our spiritual discernment comes prior knowledge as well. Okay? Like things that we would just know. And that's why you can't forget what you have learned just because of a new circumstance. See, that's a big one right there. Being able to tell the truth mixed with lies. Being able to and so you can tell, oh, they're telling you the truth because they're eating a tuna casserole. You can see that, but they're telling you the wrong kind of tuna. Now, are they doing it on purpose? Usually, yeah. Do they always know that? You know, that's up for debate. I think it depends. Yeah, it is. Tuna is a great protein. Thank you. It sure is. And there are several different types of tuna. Yes. Yep. You have yellow fin. You have yellow tail. You have slipjack. You have albacore, and then you have straight up chunk light regular tuna. So yeah, you have different types. Absolutely. If you go to this next time you go to the grocery store, for anyone who may not know this, take a look. And you'll see there's different kinds. Yep. There are different kinds. And so, and then a lot of times, yeah, whenever a narcissist tells you a truth mixed with lie, okay, a truth mixed with a lie, or truth mixed with lies, there's a lot of those. Yeah, they can be messing with your head too. And I know, it's like, how can they sit there and actually deliberately tell you a lie and not feel some sort of conscience over it? It's because they don't have a conscience. And not only that, you got to remember something else that narcissists do, chosen one. Narcissists sit there and they will tell themselves the lie over and over again. They will repeat the lie to themselves over and over again until they believe it. That's why whenever they finally come out with it, and they don't have a conscience, but that's why it sounds so believable too. I mean, when you think about it, they rehearsed is what they did. That's what narcissists do. They rehearse the lie before they tell it. I know, you're like, what? Yeah, word. Yeah, we might even listen in the future. You know, we'll be doing some, you know what? I will enlighten y'all even further when the time comes on all the different kinds of tuna. Okay, we'll go there one day. But I have to tell you that you got to be able to tell the truth mixed with lie. Well, okay. One of the things we all who went down the rabbit hole learned about the rabbit hole is that a lot of it's not new. A lot of those narratives have been around for years. Oh yeah, a lot of them have been around for years. And exactly, every time a narcissist engages in a smear campaign or does their slander, they got to make that performance look believable. Think about the world stage and the Matrix and how the devil has to make his lies look believable. And so he does that by putting out truth mixed with lies. But he also does it by tricking the sleepers into playing themselves. A big way he does this is by spreading that fear-mongering message. Okay? A fear-mongering message that's actually a lie to start with. Like a shortage of, let's say, gas, okay? Like because that's a frequent one, by the way. They want to scare everybody into believing that there's going to be, or that there is a, they want you to believe that there's a shortage of gas when there's not, to start with. But those who are living in fear, who end up falling for that, and they go lining up at the neighborhood gas station. You might only have 2 or 3 in the area, and they go lining up and start filling up all their cans, their vehicles and everything, out of fear. And now the gas station's out of gas. Uh-oh. Congratulations, they just played themselves. Because the gas station would not have run out of gas. So the lie came first. Those living in fear came along and helped make it look true. Oh, now it's true because it looks that way, but they just played themselves. Listen, we've seen it happen. When I was still living in Rockwell, North Carolina, I saw it happen the last time they did that. I said, oh my gosh. Yep. Only 2 gas stations within a mile of each other. They had plenty of gas that morning, but after that fear-mongering message went out, boom. And now they don't know when they're going to get the next delivery. Yeah. And, but that's what they do. That's what the Matrix does, y'all. That's how the devil makes his lies look believable. And it's something else. It is something else, but we see it now. And that goes with the fear-mongering of any kind out here. And then they use, oh, we know all about that. They use photos and they use video clips from like 10 years ago. Yeah, they'll use video clips recycled from like 10 years ago from some store that nowhere near us, right? And show us the empty shelves. But yet, if we go to our local store, we're not seeing, use that discernment. Yeah, I think the Henderson, oh gosh. Speaking of the rabbit hole, okay, you've been down the rabbit hole about Bigfoot. Oh, please use your spiritual discernment. Okay. Yeah, overfishing. Okay. 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 You're now a believer that Bigfoot exists? Okay. I'll leave you and God with that one. It's a world stage, right? It's a world stage. How many Halloween costumes have we seen throughout our lives? What do we know about Holly Weird? Highly narcissistic, right? Yeah. Come on, y'all. That ain't no secret. Holly Weird, highly narcissistic, and a lot of it is demonic. I'm not going to say all of it, but not all of the entertainment industry is demonic. No. But Holly Weird, the Big D, yeah, very demonic. Witchcraft. Yeah, when you think of those, well, I know those movies that, what, right, a little fairy with a magic wand, or a fairy godmother with a magic wand, bibbidi bobbidi boo. Come on, that's witchcraft. That's witchcraft. Ain't none of it real. Then think about Project Bluebeam, things like that. So, I mean, I'm not gonna, I mean, you can believe what you want to believe, but I don't know. As far as Bigfoot, it could be a very tall, gigantic actor. Think about the NBA players. They're almost, what, like 7 feet tall? It could be any one of them wearing a gorilla suit. I'm just saying. You don't really know, do you? But I'll get you. I mean, I'll like I said, I'll leave you with that one. And Hollywood is a witchcraft term. Thank you. When you do Apple FaceTime, no, Apple FaceTime does not use data, as far as I know. Well, but see, I have unlimited data, so yeah, I have the unlimited, unlimited data plan because of the business and, well, both of them are business phones, but you know what I'm talking about. Well, there's a lot of people that fall into those fear-mongering traps because they can't discern between truth mixed with lies. They don't have spiritual discernment. You know, God tells us about that. Says that they're not going to understand. And this ministry here is not going to resonate with those who, spiritual discernment is Yeah, it is a very, very powerful gift from God to be able to see these things. Yeah, and to be able to see them as they truly are as well. I mean, you have to think about all of the, wow. I mean, it takes a while to sort through it, but once you have that spiritual discernment and you let God help you with that, sharpen it. Oh, the closer to God you get with this spiritual growth, you all. Oh yeah, absolutely. And so let me go ahead and make the announcement one more time here. Well, not one more time, but I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I want to do this because people pop in here and there, and I want it to be known that because you will come across content where we were using StreamYard when we went live. You will come across content, and until we have a chance to go through and clean up the descriptions on all of those previous live streams to get that StreamYard affiliate link out, please don't click on that because it's no longer good. We have canceled our subscription. Oh, okay. That's what the big buzz is. Thank you, Heavenly Father. See, there's always a reason why God has us go where he has us go, because I did not know that around Valentine's Day, there's a big county fair. I was one because I've been hearing the buzz. I've been hearing the Ursula rumble. And when it gets louder, I'm like, there's something going on. Ah, that's what it is. People are gearing up for the county fair. Yep. So I was because I don't watch the news media. I don't watch that fake stuff. If I need to know something, God will show me, just like he did. Like I heard the Ursula rumble, and I said, well, it's getting pretty loud on and off here lately. And now I know why. I mean, aside from the P Matrix, okay, there's always something going on with that. But as far as okay, so now I know around Valentine's Day, apparently, probably every year, remember, nothing new under the sun, or around that time, whatever those days fall on, they have the county fair. Okay, don't click on any StreamYard links that you might find in the video description, because they're not going to be there for long anyway. I'm going to get on that. But, yeah, we're no longer using StreamYard for live stream. But you're going to see some, you will see some replays where we had that software. And you will hear me mention it. If I was talking about having y'all on as a guest for podcasts, that we could use that, or even to do individual consulting coaching sessions, we will not. There are plenty of other avenues. Google Meets, Zoom, if it's a 30-minute, Apple FaceTime, things like that. We've got all kinds of different ways to do a visual individual session. Because remember, all of our individual consulting and coaching sessions are virtual or by phone. Whatever you prefer. So you'll let me know what you prefer. And I have had people just want the phone one. That's fine. It works. Whatever they're comfortable with. The Earthflow Rumble, I don't necessarily look at it as a warning sound. No, it just lets me know that there's a bit more being rattled inside the matrix. Like, in other words, something got people riled up. You know how the narcissists feed on negative emotion? Okay, well, the Earthflow Rumble also requires a bunch of, let's just say, adrenaline junkies running amok, getting all riled up over stuff. So, yeah, and around the different holidays, it tends to get a little bit louder, and then also election time, it gets a bit louder. So there's just certain times of year where it gets a little bit louder, because there's things that fear-mongering messages, things like that, get people riled up. And so we just pay attention to it. By the way, on the Patreon channel, all right, everybody, on the Patreon channel, I have a video that I did. Yep, it's a video. It's a YouTube video. It's unlisted, but for the Patreon channel, it is over there. And it's where I talk about the Earth Slow Rumble. I had to give y'all some more detail. Yep, right there on the Patreon channel. So I'm going to go, I'm, listen, we got more stuff coming on Patreon, here, across all social media. That's why I tell y'all, check out CHA's social media platform page, the My Social page. That link is listed in the description below. Check it out, check it out, check it out, because we have got more stuff coming across all social. We've been getting more active on TikTok lately. We're getting back to get more active on Quora and Instagram. So a little at a time, back to basics to get back on track. You only heard it once. Well, guess what? Yeah, when when your spiritual discernment gets sharper, if you actually heard the Earth Low Rumble, then that is one of your spiritual gifts. If you actually do hear the Earth Low Rumble, that is one of your spiritual gifts. It will get sharper over time. Oh yeah, God increases, right? The closer to God we get, the more we increase. Colossians 2 verse 19. The closer to God we get, the more we increase with God. Yes. I know you're going to hear the occasional, that's the big rig going down the highway there. That's a big rig. Got great respect for them too, because I used to be a trucker myself. Yep. Them good old days. Oh man, I can only imagine if I had spiritual discernment during those days. All right. It's all good. But anyhow, it's it really is important, all right, because truth mixed with lies are amuck out here, and you got to be able to tell the difference. Okay. A lot of times that also means that you will pick up on when a particular organization or somebody's trying to use justification for something that they're doing or something that someone else is doing. That's that cognitive dissonance talking. So if you catch that cognitive dissonance talking, meaning that confusion, they feel like they have to justify their own behaviors, or they have to, you know what I'm saying? For example, you get an email. Let's say somebody you've been doing business with. You get an email and they're changing they're changing up a policy of sorts. No big deal, but they go through this lengthy explanation first. Well, since this has been rolled out, we've noticed this happening, and this happening. So, in lieu of all of that, we've decided that we need to make this policy change. See, they felt like they needed to explain all of that. That's that cognitive dissonance talking. Okay, so it's your company, it's your business, you're making a policy change. Okay, thanks for letting me know. I don't need the whole explanation why, but when you catch on to that, you can see that that's cognitive dissonance talking. There's no need for that. It's your business, it's your company, you're making a policy change. Okay. Is it going to negatively impact us? I look at what the policy change is. No, not going to negatively affect anything. We're good. Because if it is, then I'm going to stop doing business with them. It's that simple. If whatever it is, they're trying to, they'll use justification of sorts or whatever, and then whatever change they're making, if it is going to negatively impact this ministry, I'm going to stop doing business with them. It's that simple. It's that simple. Because it's not so much that they will give you a bunch of truth mixed with lies, but part of that spiritual discernment is being able to pick that stuff out, being able to see it when you come across it, because it's out there. It's part of narcissism on the world stage. Right? Exactly. And Exactly. Thank you. We wouldn't have the things that we have if we didn't have those who transport the goods across country and things like that. Exactly. And yeah, why are they involving us in the reason why for a change in policy? I know. That's a good question. That's a very good question, man. You can let me know about the policy change, and that's that. Now, I do have another one that thankfully, that's what they do. If they make a policy change, I get the email. This is just to let you know we have updated our policy to this, blah, 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 blah. No other mumbo jumbo. Cool. Cool. Keep it real. But then you have others where we'll get that long drawn out email and then all these explanations for all the things that have been rolled out, and because of this or because of that, excuse for this, excuse for that, this is why. Like, okay, I need to know all that because, I mean, seriously. So you have that discernment, and you'll be able to spot the difference between entities that are doing that. And then you can tell that if they're doing that, that means they're under a cloud of cognitive dissonance. Okay, that's going to depend. I mean, if it is a customer policy, of course they're going to let customers know. If it's an employee policy, well, they'll let the employees know if it's just based on that. Customers, we shouldn't know about employee policy changes. No. But the employees are going to know about customer policy changes as well as customers. There's the difference. So it makes sense to me, but we don't need a long, drawn-out explanation, do we? No. We don't. Typically, we don't. I mean... Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Discernment, And that spiritual discernment, being able to pick out truth mixed with lies, and then also being able to see things as they are. Being able to see things exactly as they are, and not for anything more than they are. Or anything less, but exactly as they are. That helps keep us humble. Think about it. When you don't see things as they really are, think about internal body heat being too high, and that alters your perception of things. It can cause you to see things as being bigger than they really are. Just like these narcissists, they come across something new, right? So it's a new and shiny toy for the narcissist. And so they see it as being bigger than it really is. Like when we launched the website and this ministry, man, I mean, yeah. And every now and again, I get inundated in my emails with all kinds of people. And I was like, what do y'all think? I mean, I was like, we're not out here trying to be bigger than we really are. We're a growing community here. We are a growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ. We are working in the kingdom of God. Oh, yeah, serving the God spirit in one another. We are in here to please God. We are all about that trauma healing and spiritual growth. That's right, while combating radio frequency for healthier living. And so that's it. We're not out here trying to pass ourselves off as being bigger than we really are. But if we come across somebody else, they have their let's just say they are high on salt, so they see things as being bigger than they really are, and they're a narcissist, then they're going to have that demon of assumption. And they're going to try to sell me services I don't need. When I am in need of a service, I will seek it myself. Thank you. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all shall be added unto you. That's how we roll in this ministry. Right. That's how we roll. And having that discernment to be able to tell when something is happening. Now, I'm going to tell you, whether we let ourselves get involved in it really depends. If it's chaos and drama, no. Because, like I say often, if there's chaos and drama involved, that means there's narcissistic abuse being dished out, and we want no part of that. No part of that. When we talk about picking up our cross and following Jesus, that really is the narrow path. It truly is the narrow path. Walking in our purpose is the narrow path. Because wide is the gate to destruction, right? That's following the crowd. So glory be to God, chosen ones. We're not following the crowd. We'll pull from this technique or that technique. We'll fine tune and tweak to find what works for us. But we don't have to do things. Remember, I put a post out recently when we took a break from getting up here on our lives to remind y'all that chosen ones do things differently. We don't have to do things the same way everybody else does. We're going to find what works for us. That's all that matters. And God rewards accordingly. Do my t-shirt slogans get any questions out there? Not necessarily. Because this one here, just say no to idolatry, that's pretty clear, isn't it? Yeah, just say no to idolatry. And then just say no to the trauma bond. Nope. The one that I did get a question about was warning, expert narc detector. I did have somebody ask me what a narc was. And as soon as I said narcissist, they were like, oh, like my grandpa. I went, oh. They know it. They know. Oh, by the way, as we wrap this up, I did have one. I was wearing expert narc detector. A dude walked by me, and he said, expert narc. What's a narc? Oh, narcotics. And I went, no. Narcissist. I had to correct him. I could have let him believe that, but I was like, no. But, you know what's funny? Well, yeah, the funny part about that is that I do have a master's degree in forensic toxicology, so I had to study a lot of those narcotics. So, yeah. You could say I'm an expert narc detector in that way. Because I had to study about cocaine. Oh gosh, I had to study all those toxic substances. I still got my books. And let's not forget metal toxicity, because there is such a thing as bath salts, which are considered a narc, by the way. They are, yes. Salt. Hello. Excess salt. A salt high. See, a lot of the majority of people out here don't even realize, okay? They don't even realize that they are walking around in a fever-induced state on a regular basis, being cooked from the inside out. They don't realize it with this radio frequency poisoning and excess salt, that they are living drunk on fear and drunk on a salt and adrenaline high. Narcissists, that's what, a lot of them, they don't even know. That's what they out here. So, yeah, they are. They're drunk on fear and they're drunk on salt. They got a salt high. There is such a thing, I will tell y'all. Because as I've been detoxing, wow. Let me tell you. Whenever the body lets go, a 10 muscle lets go of another batch of that salt, it's like the head rush. I'm like, yo! And I got to give it about 30 minutes. I'm like, I can feel it. I don't like it, no. Because for those who may not have heard this yet, okay, as I talk about on the Patreon channel, we're not perfect. So, yeah, I did. Okay, I did years ago. Okay, many years ago, I did try cannabis. Don't like it. I don't like it. And that kind of high is the same as a salt high. No thanks. No thanks, no thanks, no thanks. Because that salt high, that kind of high, is like an adrenaline rush. Blah. I was like, no! I gotta stop, and I just let it wear down. I let the body readjust, because that's part of the detox. And y'all gotta remember, my circumstance is a little bit different, because I experienced a physical assault that she caused some bruising that put injuries in places where it's just taken a little while, but bruises heal, and that's what's happening. We're just fine, y'all. And I can recognize when my body is getting rid of and it's getting ready to let go, and so it's got to go through the system, and so it's like and so yeah, and it, oh my gosh, yeah. So that tells me, I'm like, I can see, and I'm like, oh wow, okay. So that's exactly what it just let me know, exactly what the enemy is doing to everybody and exactly how. And so I bring y'all more details about all of that on the Patreon channel for a reason. That's part of the exclusive content on a day-to-day basis. You get real world stuff that God's revealing to me about how the devil is using radio frequency on the societal level to keep people just, oh wow. This is why it's part of our movement to push back against that for healthier living, so we make better choices going forward. Okay, everybody? And so, yeah. Yes, it does. Yeah, it does not give off a pleasant smell at all. And you will experience withdrawal symptoms. And that's something that a lot of people can't handle. And so I've got a video on the Patreon channel. I just talked about this, how salt is addictive, if you don't know. But it is very addictive. Just like any other toxic substance. Every single toxic substance is addictive. And it's going to depend on you and your body's makeup. It's going to depend on a lot of things. And then your thoughts. Never forget, along with spiritual discernment, our thoughts are spiritual power. Never forget that. Very important. All right. As part of our truth-seeking journey in this growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ, that wraps up this episode for today. All right, everybody. I am sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your continued support. Remember, we are no longer using StreamYard for our live streams or session or podcast episodes. We are no longer using StreamYard. Until next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.